Hey, everyone, tonight. I'm standing by the community pool, the chlorine stinging my nose, the summer heat pressing against my skin, and my heart pounding as Marceline's voice slices through the chatter like a knife. "Your kid's always in the way, Elowen," she sneers, her sunglasses glinting under the noon sun, her lips curling as if my daughter's mere existence offends her. The other parents go quiet, their kids splashing in the shallow end, oblivious to the storm brewing. I clench my fists, my apology already forming, but then I see it. Her son, smirking, tossing a plastic cup into the pool's filter grate. The same kid who's been trouble all summer. My blood boils. You probably wouldn't last a week living next to someone like this. So before you settle in, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe, but only if you actually want more raw stories like this. Drop a comment below. Where are you listening from? And have you ever had a nightmare neighbor? Now take a deep breath, because here's everything you never knew about the war. I survived on my own front lawn. It all started 3 months ago, when we moved into this quiet suburban cul-de-sac, the kind of place where kids ride bikes until dusk and neighbors wave over picket fences. My daughter Lila was thrilled about the community pool, her first real chance to make friends since the move. I'm a single mom juggling a remote job, and Lila's endless energy, so that pool was our sanctuary. But Marceline, my next-door neighbor, had other plans. From day one, her passive-aggressive comments set the tone. "Your lawn's looking a bit wild," she'd say, or "Lila's bike is blocking the sidewalk." I brushed it off, chalking it up to her being territorial. But today by the pool, she crossed a line. The confrontation erupts when Lila, splashing happily with her floaties, accidentally bumps into Marceline's son, Tyler. He's 2 years older than Lila, and he shoves her back hard. She stumbles, her little face crumpling, and I rush over hard in my throat. "Hey, Tyler, let's be gentle," I say, keeping my voice calm. Marceline storms up, her flip-flops slapping the concrete. "Your kid's always in the way," she snaps loud enough for everyone to hear. I freeze, humiliation burning my cheeks. The other moms avert their eyes, pretending to adjust their kids' goggles. I mumble an apology, hating myself for it, but Marceline's not done. "Maybe teach her some manners," she adds, tossing her hair. I want to scream, but Lila's watching, her eyes wide. So I swallow my rage and guide her to our towel, whispering that it's okay. But it's not. As I pack our bag, I notice Tyler by the pool's edge, tossing another cup into the filter grate. It's deliberate, malicious. I've seen him do it before, littering, breaking pool toys, even shoving younger kids when he thinks no one's looking. The lifeguard's distracted, chatting with a teen. My mind races. This is my chance. I march to the pool office where the HOA rep, a tired guy named Greg, is sorting paperwork. "Tyler's been vandalizing the pool," I say, pointing to the cups clogging the grate. "I saw him do it just now." Greg sighs, but he takes my complaint seriously. There've been too many incidents this summer. He promises to investigate. By evening, word spreads Tyler's banned from the pool for 2 weeks. Marceline's livid. She bangs on my door at 8 p.m., her face red, screaming that I'm a liar and a snitch. "You'll regret this, Elowen," she hisses, her voice low and venomous. I slam the door, my hands shaking, but a spark of defiance ignites inside me. This isn't just about the pool anymore. It's war. That night, I lie awake, the hum of crickets outside my window, drowned out by the memory of Marceline's threat. Lila's asleep, her stuffed bunny clutched tight, and I wonder if I've just made things worse. But then I remember Tyler's smirk, Marceline's cruelty, and the way the other parents stayed silent. I'm done apologizing. I realize I've been playing nice for too long, hoping she'd back off. No more. If Marceline wants a fight, she's got one. The power shift is subtle, but real. I've drawn first blood, and it feels good. The next morning, I wake to a new reality. Marceline's car is gone, but her front yard is pristine, mocking my overgrown grass. I check my phone. The neighborhood group chat is buzzing. Tyler's banned. About time, one mom writes. Another chimes in, Marceline's telling everyone Elowen lied. My stomach twists, but I'm not surprised. She's already spinning the narrative. I sip my coffee, staring out at her perfect roses, and notice something odd. My tomato plants, the ones Lila and I spent weeks tending, are wilting. Not just drooping, but dyeing, their leaves curled and brown. A sour smell lingers in the air like chemicals. My heart sinks. This isn't nature's work. It's sabotage. The sour stench of my ruined tomato plants clings to the morning air, and I'm kneeling in the dirt, my hands trembling as I pull up the shriveled roots. Lila's still asleep, her curtains drawn against the rising sun. But I can't shake the image of Marceline's smug face from last night, her threat echoing. You'll regret this, Elowen. My garden, our garden. Lila's pride and joy is dead. The leaves brittle, the soil tainted with a chemical reek. I'm no botanist, but I know weed killer when I smell it. She did this. Marceline poisoned my backyard to hit me where it hurts. I wipe sweat from my brow, rage simmering in my chest, and decide right then I'm not just fighting for my kid anymore. I'm fighting for every inch of this life I've built. I spend the morning salvaging what I can, bagging the dead plants as evidence. My phone pings with more group chat nonsense. Marceline's telling everyone I'm unstable, that I made up the pool incident to target her precious Tyler. The audacity burns, but I don't respond. Not yet. I need proof. I head to the hardware store, grabbing a soil test kit and a cheap motion-activated camera. Back home, I test the dirt. The kit confirms high levels of glyphosate, a common herbicide. It's no accident. I set up the camera by the back fence, hidden in the shrubs, its lens aimed at Marceline's side of the property. If she tries this again, I'll catch her. By afternoon, the neighborhood feels like a pressure cooker. Kids bike past, their laughter grating against my nerves. I spot Marceline on her porch, sipping iced tea, her eyes flicking toward my house. She knows I'm hurting. I want to storm over, scream in her face, but that's what she wants me, unhinged, giving her more ammo. Instead, I call Greg, the HOA rep, and report the vandalism. He's skeptical, says I need hard evidence, but agrees to bring it up at the next community meeting in 2 days. It's a start. I hang up, my pulse racing, and start planning my next move. Marceline thinks she's untouchable, but I'm about to show her I can play dirty too. The community meeting is held in the clubhouse, a stuffy room with folding chairs and a buzzing fluorescent light. I walk in my evidence bag, heavy with contaminated soil. The soil test results printed and neatly folded in my pocket. Lila's with a sitter, thank God, because this is about to get ugly. Marceline's already there holding court with a clique of moms, her voice syrupy, as she spins her sob story about poor Tyler and my vendetta. I take a seat near the front, ignoring the whispers. Greg calls the meeting to order, and when he mentions recent complaints, I stand. Marceline poisoned my garden. I say, my voice steady but loud, cutting through the murmurs. I hold up the bag of dead plants, the chemical smell wafting faintly. I have soil tests proving it was herbicide. This wasn't an accident. It was retaliation because I reported her son for vandalism. The room goes dead silent. Marceline's face flushes, but she recovers fast, standing with a theatrical gasp. That's absurd, she cries. Elowen's just paranoid, lashing out because she can't control her kid. A few moms nod, but others look uneasy. I pull out the test results, passing copies to Greg and the board. This is proof, I say. And I've got a camera set up now. If it happens again, I'll have her on video. The climax hits when Greg, flustered, asks Marceline if she has anything to say. She stammers, her charm cracking, then snaps. Maybe if you weren't so obsessed with me, your garden wouldn't be a mess. It's a misstep. The room shifts. People exchange glances, sensing her guilt. I seize the moment. This isn't about me, I say, staring her down. It's about you thinking you can bully anyone who stands up to you. A dad in the back claps, and a few others join in. Marceline storms out her heels, clicking furiously. Greg promises to investigate, but I know I've won this round. The power's shifting, she's not as untouchable as she thinks. Driving home, my hands grip the wheel, adrenaline still pumping. I did it. I stood up to her in front of everyone, and for the first time, people listened. But the victory feels fragile. Marceline's not the type to slink away quietly. I check the camera footage when I get home, nothing yet, but I leave it running. Lila's asleep, her face peaceful, and I kiss her forehead, promising myself I'll protect her from this mess. But as I collapse onto the couch, exhaustion hits, mingled with a new realization. I'm not just reacting anymore. I'm strategizing, fighting back, and it's changing me. I'm not the pushover Marceline thought I was. Then at midnight, it starts. Music loud, bass heavy, rattling my windows. It's coming from Marceline's house, her backyard speakers blaring some obnoxious pop song. Lila stirs in her room, whimpering, and I clench my jaw. This is her next move, her way of saying she's not done. The noise is deliberate, a middle finger to my win at the meeting. I grab my phone, ready to call the cops, but hesitate. A police report feels too final, too escalation. Instead, I open the city's noise ordinance webpage, skimming the rules. It's after 10 p.m., she's breaking the law. I start recording the sound from my window, the timestamp clear. This is my ammunition now. The bass from Marceline's speakers throbs through my walls, a relentless pulse that shakes the framed photos on my nightstand. It's 1 a.m., and Lila's crying in her room, her small voice calling for me over the din of some auto-tuned pop song. I'm barefoot, pacing in my pajamas, my phone clutched tight, with the noise recording still running. The audacity of it, Marceline blasting music after I called her out at the community meeting, sets my nerves on fire. She's not just retaliating, she's trying to break me. I scoop Lila into my arms, her tear-streaked face burrowing into my shoulder, and I know I can't let this slide. Not tonight. Not ever. I settle Lila back in bed with her favorite lullaby on low, promising the noise will stop soon. It's a lie I hope I can make true. Back in my room, I check the city noise ordinance again. Anything over 50 decibels after 10 p.m. is a violation. I download a decibel meter app, hold my phone by the window, and watch the numbers climb 68, 72, 75. It's way over the limit. My recording's got 2 hours of this nonsense now timestamped and undeniable. I could call the police, but I hesitate. Cops mean reports may be escalation, and I'm not ready for that kind of war. Not yet. Instead, I decide to hit her where it hurts, the HOA. They're sticklers for rules, and I'm about to make Marceline their problem. By morning, the music's stopped, but my resolve hasn't. Lila's groggy at breakfast, her cereal untouched, and I feel a pang of guilt for dragging her into this mess. "Why's Ms. Marceline so mean?" she asks, her voice small. I force a smile, saying, "Some people just don't know how to be kind, but we're tougher than they think." She nods, but her eyes are distant, and it fuels my anger. I draft a formal noise complaint to the HOA, attaching the recording and screenshots of the decibel readings. I email it to Greg and the entire board, CCing the neighborhood listserv for good measure. Let Marceline try to spin this one. The response comes faster than I expect. By noon, Greg calls, sounding exasperated. "We got your complaint, Elowen." Several others reported the noise too. My heart leaps. Others, I'm not alone. He says the HOA's issuing Marceline a warning, and a second offense will mean a fine. It's not much, but it's something. I thank him, hang up, and check the listserv. The group chat's exploding. Finally, someone called her out. One neighbor writes. Another adds, "Her parties are out of control." Marceline's silent, but I know she's seething. I've turned her own tactics against her public shame, and it feels like a drug. That evening, the tension peaks. I'm watering my front lawn, the new seedlings we planted to replace the poisoned garden barely sprouting, when Marceline's SUV screeches into her driveway. She storms out her face, a mask of fury, and marches straight for me. "You think you're clever, don't you?" she hisses, close enough that I smell her floral perfume. Her voice is low venomous, meant to intimidate. "Sending your little complaints turning everyone against me." I grip the hose water dripping onto my sneakers and meet her gaze. "You broke the rules, Marceline." I say, my voice steady. Maybe try keeping it down next time. Her eyes narrow, and for a moment I think she might lunge. Instead, she laughs a sharp, ugly sound. "This isn't over," she says, spinning on her heel. The confrontation leaves me shaken but electrified. I've never stood up to someone like that, not face to face, not with my heart hammering so loud, I'm sure she heard it. Lila's watching from the porch, her eyes wide, and I wave her inside, not wanting her to see me rattled. But as I coil the hose, I realize something's changed. I'm not just defending my space anymore, I'm claiming it. Marceline's used to winning by intimidation, but I'm learning her game, and I'm getting better at it. That night, I checked the backyard camera, half expecting to see her sneaking over with more weed killer. The footage is clear, but there's something else, a shadow moving near her fence at 2 a.m., too blurry to make out. It's not enough to act on, but it keeps me up, my mind racing. Is she planning something worse? I double-check the locks, the windows, the gate. Lila's asleep, her breathing soft, and I sit by her bed, watching her chest rise and fall. This fight's costing me sleep, peace, maybe even my sanity, but I can't back down. Not when I'm finally gaining ground. The next morning, I wake to a new kind of chaos. My mailbox is stuffed with flyers, crude photocopied sheets, accusing me of harassing Marceline, calling me a bitter single mom who's jealous of her perfect family. They're unsigned, but her handwriting's unmistakable, the same looping scrawl I saw on her HOA nomination form last month. My stomach churns, but I don't crumple them. I bag them as evidence, my hands steady now. She's escalating, but so am I. I'm not the scared mom who apologized by the pool anymore. I'm Elowen, and I'm ready for whatever she throws next. The morning sun barely cuts through the haze of my exhaustion, and I'm outside, coffee in hand, staring at a pile of dog feces smeared across my front lawn. The stench hits me like a punch, sour and unmistakable, right where Lila's chalk drawings used to brighten the grass. My heart sinks, then surges with rage. This isn't a stray dog's mess. Marceline's golden retriever, always off-leash, is the only one bold enough to roam this far. And those flyers from yesterday, the ones calling me a bitter single mom, they're still fluttering in my mailbox, her handwriting taunting me. This is her latest attack, a disgusting escalation after the noise complaint I filed. I'm done playing defense. Today I'm turning her own cruelty into my weapon. I grab a shovel and a plastic bag, gagging as I scoop the mess, but I don't toss it. Evidence matters now. My backyard camera's been running since the garden poisoning, and I'm betting it caught something. I pull up the footage on my laptop, heart pounding, and there it is, 3:17 a.m. Marceline in a dark hoodie leading her dog to my fence. She doesn't even look around, just lets the dog do its business, then nudges the pile closer with her foot. The footage is grainy but clear enough, her face illuminated by a streetlight. "Got you?" I think, a grim smile spreading. This isn't just petty anymore, it's trespassing, vandalism, and I'm not letting it slide. I call Greg, the HOA rep, and forward him the video along with photos of the feces and the flyers. "This is harassment," I say, my voice tight. He sounds stunned, promising to escalate it to the board. But I'm not waiting for their slow bureaucracy. I upload the footage to a private cloud, then call a lawyer friend, Sarah, who owes me a favor. She confirms this could be grounds for a civil suit, harassment, property damage, maybe even a restraining order. Start with a cease and desist letter, she advises. It's a warning shot. I spend the afternoon drafting it with her, every word sharp and deliberate, demanding Marceline stop her malicious actions or face legal consequences. Printing it feels like loading a gun. The confrontation comes at dusk. I march to Marceline's door, the letter in a sealed envelope, my pulse hammering. She answers, her smirk fading when she sees my expression. "You need to read this," I say, thrusting the letter into her hands. "And check your email, I sent you a video of last night." Her eyes widen, but she recovers, scoffing. "What more of your lies?" she says, loud enough for her husband to peek out. I don't flinch. "You trespassed. You vandalized my property. Keep it up and I'm suing." Her face pales, and for the first time I see fear flicker in her eyes. She slams the door, but I've already won this round. The power's shifting, and she knows it. Back home, I check on Lila, who's coloring at the kitchen table, oblivious to the war outside. "Did you fix the yard, Mommy?" she asks, her crayons pausing. I nod, forcing a smile, but my chest aches. This fight's protecting her, but it's also stealing her innocence. I tuck her in, promising a better day tomorrow, then sit by the window watching Marceline's house. Her lights are on, curtains twitching, and I wonder what she's planning. The cease and desist isn't a fix, it's a gauntlet thrown, and I'm bracing for her counterattack. The next morning, the HOA emails the neighborhood Marceline's been fined $200 for unsanctioned property interference. A vague term that doesn't name me, but screams my victory. The group chat lights up. Neighbors I barely know are texting support, one even offering to testify if I need it. But Marceline's not silent. By noon, she's posted on the listserv claiming she's being targeted by a vindictive neighbor. She doesn't name me, but everyone knows. The audacity reignites my fury, but it also sharpens my focus. She's scrambling, losing her grip on the narrative. That afternoon, I take Lila to the park, needing normalcy. But even there, I feel eyes on me, other moms, whispering, some nodding in solidarity, others keeping their distance. The community's dividing, and I'm at the center. When we get home, I find a new surprise. My front door's scratched deep gouges in the wood, like someone dragged a key across it. No camera caught this. It's on the front porch, a blind spot. My stomach twists, but I don't cry. I take photos, add them to my growing file, and order another camera for the porch. Marceline's testing me, seeing how far she can push before I break. But I'm not breaking. I'm building a case. Lying awake that night, the house quiet, except for the hum of the fridge, I realize how much this fight's changed me. Remember when she threw dog poop over the fence? That was nothing compared to what's coming. I'm not just Elowen, the single mom who apologized by the pool. I'm Elowen, the woman who's learning to fight like a lion. The cease and desist was my first real strike, and it shifted something deep inside. I'm not afraid of Marceline anymore. I'm ready to outsmart her. But as I drift to sleep, a new worry creeps in. She's got the HOA on her side, or at least some of them. If I'm going to win this war, I need allies, and I need them fast. Oh. The clubhouse smells of stale coffee and cheap air freshener, its fluorescent lights casting harsh shadows on the faces of the HOA board. I'm seated in the front row, my hands clasped tight to stop them from shaking, as Marceline works the room like a politician, her smile all teeth and charm. She's swaying the board, I can feel it. Her whispered lunches with the chairwoman, her donations to the community fund. After the dog poop incident and my cease and desist letter, she's not just fighting me. She's trying to turn the whole neighborhood against me. My porch camera caught nothing new, but the scratches on my door still burn in my mind. Tonight's meeting is my chance to flip the script, to expose her lies and rally allies before she buries me. Marceline's latest move hit the listserv this morning, a tearful post claiming I'm harassing her family, complete with a sob story about Tyler's pool ban and her vandalized roses clipped stems she probably cut herself. The board's eating it up. I see it in their nods, their murmured sympathy. My complaint about the feces and the video evidence buried under her narrative. I scan the room, spotting a few friendly faces, Jenna, the mom from the park, and Mike, the dad, who clapped at the last meeting. They're my lifeline. I've spent the last 2 days texting them, sharing my evidence, building a quiet coalition. Now it's time to strike. The meeting drags through budget reports until Greg, the HOA rep, opens the floor for community concerns. Marceline stands first, her voice dripping with faux sincerity. "I'm just asking for peace," she says, dabbing her eyes. "Elowen's accusations about my dog, my garden, are tearing us apart." The chairwoman, Diane, pats her arm, and my stomach churns. I stand my folder of evidence heavy in my hands. "Marceline's lying," I say loud enough to silence the whispers. "I have proof she trespassed, vandalized my property, and now she's slandering me to cover it up." I pass out copies of the camera footage stills, the soil test from the poisoned garden, and the cease and desist letter. The room shifts, eyes darting between us. Diane tries to interrupt, but I keep going. "She's manipulating you," I say, locking eyes with each board member. Her roses. "Check her compost bin. I bet you'll find the clippings. Her dog. I've got video of her on my lawn at 3 a.m. Jenna stands, her voice firm. "I saw the flyers Marceline spread calling Elowen names." "That's not peace, that's bullying," Mike chimes in. "My kids saw Tyler throw those cups in the pool. Elowen's not the problem here." The crowd murmurs, and Marceline's composure cracks, her face flushing. "This is a witch hunt," she snaps, but it's too late. The board's listening now. Diane's frown deepening. The climax hits when I pull my final card. "I've filed a police report for the door scratches," I say, holding up the case number. "It's a bluff. I only called to ask about filing, but it lands like a bomb." Marceline gasps, her hand flying to her chest, and Diane bangs her gavel. "Enough," she says. "We'll investigate both sides, but this stops now." The meeting adjourns in chaos, neighbors arguing, Marceline storming out. I stay shaking hands with Jenna and Mike, my chest tight with relief. I've turned the tide, exposed her lies, and gained allies. The power's shifting, and for the first time, I feel like I'm not alone. Driving home, Lila asleep in the back seat, I replay the meeting, my heart still racing. I didn't just defend myself, I attacked, and it worked. But the victory's bittersweet. Marceline's wounded, not defeated, and I know she'll hit back harder. When I pull into my driveway, I see her curtains twitch, her silhouette watching. I check the porch camera on my phone, nothing yet, but I order another for the side yard, just in case. Inside, I tuck Lila in her face, peaceful, and sit by her bed, my mind churning. This fight's costing me sleepless nights, constant vigilance, but it's also waking something fierce in me. I'm not the pushover who apologized by the pool. I'm Elowen, and I'm building an army. The next morning, the listserv's quiet, but my inbox isn't. Jenna forwards me a text from another mom, Karen, who says Marceline tried to bribe her to vote against me at the next meeting. It's sloppy desperate, and I save it, adding it to my evidence file. But then, Lila comes home from school, her backpack dragging, her eyes red. "Tyler said you're a liar," she whispers, "and that I stole his toy." My blood runs cold. Marceline's not just coming for me now, she's targeting my kid. The realization hits like a slap. This war's personal, and she's willing to hurt Lila to win. I hug Lila tight, promising to fix it, but inside, I'm burning. Marceline's crossed a line, and I'm done playing by the rules. Lila's words echo in my head. "Tyler said you're a liar, and that I stole his toy," and I'm gripping the kitchen counter, my knuckles white as the late afternoon sun slants through the blinds. Marceline's gone too far, dragging my 8-year-old into her vendetta. The HOA meeting last night, where I exposed her lies and rallied Jenna and Mike, feels like a distant victory now. This is different. This is my daughter. Her tear-streaked face burned into my memory, and the rage boiling inside me is unlike anything I've felt before. Marceline thinks she can break me by targeting Lila, but she's about to learn how far a mother will go to protect her child. I sit Lila down, wiping her tears, and ask for details. She says Tyler cornered her at recess, surrounded by his friends, accusing her of stealing his action figure from his backpack. The teacher intervened, but the damage was done. Lila's humiliated the other kids, whispering, "I know this isn't Tyler acting alone. Marceline's pulling the strings, planting lies to isolate us." I checked the school's parent portal. No formal complaint, but a note from the teacher about a misunderstanding. My blood runs hot. This is slander, a calculated move to paint us as the problem. I'm not just fighting for my reputation anymore. I'm fighting for Lila's heart. I call the school, scheduling a meeting with the principal for tomorrow, and spend the evening digging through the neighborhood listserv. Marceline's been busy posting vague sob stories about false accusations and bullying that don't name us but scream her agenda. Then I find it a comment from Karen, the mom, who got Marceline's bribe text saying she's heard rumors about Lila stealing. It's spreading and fast. My hands shake as I screenshot everything, adding it to my evidence file alongside the cease and desist letter and the dog poop video. But evidence isn't enough. I need to expose Marceline's pattern, show the neighborhood she's the liar, not us. The next morning, I'm at the school, sitting across from Principal Carter, a tired woman with a no-nonsense vibe. I lay it all out: Tyler's accusation, Marceline's history of harassment, the flyers, the vandalism. I show her the listserv posts pointing out Marceline's manipulation. Lila's being targeted. I say, my voice steady despite the fire in my chest. This isn't a kid's spat, it's an adult using her son to bully my daughter. Carter listens, her brow furrowing, and promises to investigate. She calls Tyler's teacher, who confirms he's been acting out since the pool ban. No proof of a stolen toy, though. I leave with the plan the school will monitor recess, and I'm to report any further incidents. It's not justice, but it's a start. That afternoon, I take Lila to the library, needing to get her out of the neighborhood's toxic air. She's quiet, clutching her book, and I hate Marceline for stealing her spark. Back home, I check the cameras. Nothing new, but the side yard's motion sensor tripped at 4 a.m. The footage shows a figure too blurry to ID near my fence. My gut says it's Marceline, but it's not enough for the police. I'm pacing when Jenna texts, "Marceline's telling people Lila's a thief." "Want me to shut it down?" I reply. "Yes, but be careful." Jenna posts on the listserv calling out the rumors as baseless and mentioning Marceline's bribe attempt. The group chat erupts, neighbors demanding answers. Marceline's silent, but I know she's plotting. The climax comes that evening. I'm grilling burgers in the backyard, trying to give Lila a normal night, when Marceline's voice carries over the fence. She's on her patio, loud enough for me to hear, telling her husband that woman's kid is trouble-stealing, lying, just like her mom. It's deliberate, meant to bait me. Lila's playing nearby, her head down, and I snap. I march to the fence, burger spatula in hand, and shout, "Say it to my face." "Marceline!" She steps into view, smirking her phone out like she's recording. "What? Elowen can't handle the truth," she taunts. I take a breath, lowering my voice. "You're a coward, using your kid to spread lies. I've got proof of everything. Keep it up, and you'll see me in court." Her smirk falters, and she retreats, but not before I catch her husband's uneasy glance. I've rattled her, and it feels like fire in my veins. Back inside, Lila's quiet, but she hugs me tight. "You're brave, Mommy," she whispers, and it's a moment that changes everything. I'm not just fighting for her, I'm showing her how to stand up. But the weight of it hits me later, alone in my room, the house silent, except for the creak of the floorboards. Marceline's lies are spreading, and the school's neutrality won't protect Lila forever. I open my laptop, drafting an open letter to the neighborhood detailing every incident with timestamps and evidence links. I don't send it, not yet, but it's my nuclear option. The realization dawns: I'm not just defending now. I'm building a case to destroy her credibility. As I drift to sleep, the memory of Marceline's shaken expression fuels me. Remember when she threw dog poop over the fence? That was child's play compared to this. She thought targeting Lila would break me, but it's done the opposite. I'm sharper, stronger, and I'm not alone. Jen and Mike, maybe even Karen, are with me. But the fight's about to get uglier. Marceline's got one more card to play, and I'm bracing for it, because tomorrow's Lila's birthday, and I know she'll try to ruin it. The backyard is a riot of color pink streamers, fluttering balloons, bobbing against the fence, and Lila's laughter ringing out as she chases her friends with a water gun. It's her 9th birthday, and I've poured everything into this day, determined to give her a moment of joy after Marceline's lies at school. The smell of grilled hot dogs and sunscreen fills the air, and for a fleeting moment, I think we've escaped the war next door. But then I see it, a drone, small and buzzing, hovering over my yard, its camera glinting in the afternoon sun. Marceline's house is quiet, her curtains drawn, but I know this is her doing a cruel prank to ruin Lila's day. My blood boils, and I'm done letting her taint our lives. Today, I'm turning her spite into her downfall. I shield my eyes, tracking the drone as it dips low, spooking the kids. Lila freezes her water gun, dropping, and Jenna, who's helping with the party, whispers, "Is that hers?" I nod, my jaw tight. Marceline's been quiet since I called her out over the fence last night, but this is her style, sneaky, invasive, meant to unnerve. I grab my phone, recording the drone's path, and notice it's dropping something tiny slips of paper fluttering like confetti. One lands near the cake table, and I snatch it up. It's a photocopied note, the same looping scrawl as her flyers. Lila's a thief, just like her mom. The kids don't see it, thank God, but the parents do, their faces tightening. My heart pounds, but I force a smile, ushering the kids to the bounce house. This ends now. I slip inside, calling Mike, who's at the party with his son. "Can you watch the drone?" I ask. He nods, already filming it with his phone. I check my backyard camera, praying it caught something. The footage shows the drone launching from Marceline's patio at 2 p.m., clear as day, with her silhouette in the frame fiddling with a controller. It's the evidence I need. But I don't stop there. I text Sarah, my lawyer friend, attaching the video and the note. "Can we add this to the harassment case?" I ask. She replies instantly. "Absolutely. This is intentional infliction of emotional distress." My hands shake as I forward the footage to Greg and the HOA board, labeling it Marceline's latest harassment. I'm not just reacting anymore. I'm building a fortress of proof. The party continues, but the mood's strained. Jenna collects the scattered notes before the kids notice, and I keep Lila distracted with pinata games. But inside, I'm plotting. Marceline wants to humiliate us. I'll humiliate her right back, and the community pool is the perfect stage. I called Jenna and Mike into the kitchen, whispering my plan tomorrow. We'll host an impromptu pool cleanup event, inviting the whole neighborhood. I'll show the drone footage on my tablet, let everyone see Marceline's true colors. Jenna's eyes light up. "She'll lose it," she says. Mike grins. "I'm in. We agree to keep it quiet until morning, when I'll post the invite on the listserv." The climax hits the next day at the pool. The sun's blazing, kids splashing, parents lounging. And I'm nervous, but ready. I set up a small table by the gate, my tablet cued to the drone footage, and post the cleanup invite. "Join us to keep our pool safe. Special announcement at noon." By 11:30, the place is packed. Neighbors curious. Marceline, nowhere in sight. I take a deep breath and start the video, projecting it onto a portable screen Mike brought. The crowd quiets as Marceline's silhouette appears, launching the drone, the notes fluttering over my yard. Gasps ripple through the group. "She did that during a kid's party," Karen mutters, shaking her head. I speak up, my voice steady. "This is what we're dealing with. Marceline's not a victim. She's a bully." The applause is scattered but real, and I feel a surge of triumph. She's exposed, and she's not here to spin it. Then she arrives. Marceline storms through the gate, her face red, Tyler trailing behind. "You're obsessed with me," she shrieks, jabbing a finger at me. The crowd parts, eyes wide. I don't back down. You flew a drone over my daughter's birthday dropping lies, I say, pointing to the screen, still looping the footage. Explain that. She stammers, her charm crumbling. It wasn't me, she lies, but Tyler tugs her arm, whispering, Mom, stop. Her husband, silent, until now, pulls her back, muttering, We're leaving. The crowd watches them go, and I know I've won more than a moment. I've turned the neighborhood against her. Back home, Lila's glowing from her party, oblivious to the drone drama, and I tuck her in with the story, my heart lighter. The listserv's buzzing with support, neighbors calling for Marceline's HOA fine to be doubled. But I'm not naive. She's down, not out. I check the cameras, add the drone video to my evidence file, and email Sarah to start drafting a harassment suit. The realization hits as I lie in bed. I'm not just fighting for Lila's happiness. I'm teaching her resilience, showing her we don't bow to bullies. Remember when she accused Lila of stealing? That was nothing compared to this. Marceline thought she could ruin us, but I've turned her prank into her public shame, and I'm ready for her next move. The moonlight spills across my driveway, glinting off the shattered glass of my car's rear windshield, a jagged hole where a brick now lies on the back seat. My hands tremble as I clutch my phone, the 911 operator's voice, a distant hum in my ear, asking me to stay calm. Calm. Marceline's crossed every line: poisoned gardens, dog feces, drone attacks on Lila's birthday, and now this, a brick through my car at 2 a.m., the night after I humiliated her at the pool with that drone footage. The air smells of gasoline and dew, and my heart's pounding so loud, I barely hear the sirens approaching. She's not just harassing me anymore. She's destroying my property, and I'm done with warnings. Tonight, I'm taking this to the law. Police lights flash, painting the cul-de-sac red and blue, waking neighbors who peer from their windows. The officer, a gruff guy named Torres, takes my statement, photographing the brick and the glass. I show him my evidence file, screenshots, videos, the cease and desist letter from last week. This is the latest in a pattern, I say, my voice steady, despite the rage clawing my chest. Marceline next door, she's behind it. Torres nods, jotting notes, but says they need proof linking her to the brick. My porch camera caught nothing, wrong angle, but I point to her house curtains, drawn, lights off, too quiet. Check her yard, I urge. She's not that careful. He promises to question her, but I'm not holding my breath for an arrest. Not yet. By dawn, I'm exhausted, but wired cleaning glass from the driveway while Lila sleeps. Jenna stops by, her face pale. I saw the police, she says. Was it her? I nod, showing her the brick, its edges stained with dirt from Marceline's garden beds. Jenna's furious, offering to watch Lila while I deal with this. I call Sarah, my lawyer friend, and email her photos of the damage, the police report number, and my evidence file. This is criminal vandalism, she says, her voice sharp. We're updating the cease and desist to a formal demand letter, and I'm drafting a civil suit for property damage and harassment. I agree, my resolve hardening. Marceline thinks she can scare me off, but I'm about to hit her where it hurts her wallet and her reputation. I spend the morning at the auto shop getting a repair quote, $200 the gut punch I can't afford. Back home, I check the listserv. Neighbors are buzzing about the vandalism on our street, some mentioning Marceline's suspicious silence since the pool event. I don't post yet, I'm saving my ammo. Instead, I knock on Mike's door, asking if his security camera caught anything. He pulls up footage from his side yard, 1:58 a.m. A figure in a hoodie tossing something heavy into my car. The face is shadowed, but the hoodie matches the one from my dog poop video. It's not courtroom proof, but it's enough for now. I send it to Sarah and Greg, labeling it Marceline's latest attack. The climax comes that afternoon. I drive to Marceline's lawyer's office. Sarah tracked down his address and deliver the demand letter myself, a thick envelope demanding $1 or $500 for repairs and a public apology, or we'll sue. The receptionist takes it, her eyes wide, and I feel a surge of power. Back home, I spot Marceline in her yard pretending to water her roses, but her hands are shaking. I don't confront her. I don't need to. The letter's a ticking bomb, and she knows it. By evening, Sarah calls Marceline's lawyer, wants to negotiate offering to pay half the repair cost, but no apology. They're scared, Sarah says. Push for the full amount. I agree, my heart racing. I'm not just fighting back, I'm winning. But the victory's bitter. Lila's drawing in the kitchen, her crayons slow, and I know she's sensed the tension. Is our car okay? She asks, her voice small. I hug her, promising it's fixed, but the lie tastes sour. The repair's not done, and I'm dipping into savings to cover it. I tuck her in, then check the cameras, paranoia creeping in. The side yard's motion sensor tripped at noon. Nothing clear, just a shadow near the fence. I order another camera, my budget screaming, but I can't stop now. Marceline's desperate and desperate people are dangerous. The next morning, the listserv explodes. Someone leaked the demand letter. Jenna swears it wasn't her, and neighbors are picking sides. Marceline's out of control, Karen posts. Another mom defends her, calling me vindictive. I don't respond, but I save every comment, my evidence file growing like a weapon. Then Greg emails the HOAs fining Marceline again $500 for disruptive behavior, citing the drone incident and recent complaints. It's not the brick, but it's pressure, and I feel the tide turning. Still, I'm braced for her retaliation. Remember when she ruined Lila's birthday with that drone? That was petty compared to this. She's gone from pranks to felonies, and I'm not just protecting Lila anymore. I'm dismantling Marceline's world. Lying awake, the house creaking, I realize how far I've come. The Elowen who apologized by the pool is gone, replaced by someone who delivers legal threats and faces down cops. But it's costing me sleepless nights, Lila's worried glances, my bank account bleeding. The demand letter was a power shift, but it's also a dare, and Marceline's not done. I drift to sleep dreaming of her next move, knowing it'll be big, and I'll need more than evidence to survive it. The cul-de-sac hums with tension porch lights flickering on, as neighbors whisper behind closed curtains, their allegiances splitting like a fault line. Marceline's latest stunt, the brick through my car window, has lit a fuse in the neighborhood's choosing sides. My phone buzzes with texts from Jenna and Mike, urging me to keep pushing, while the listserv burns with arguments over the leaked demand letter I sent her lawyer. I'm standing in my kitchen, the smell of burnt toast lingering, staring at a petition I've drafted to tighten HOA rules on harassment and vandalism. After the car, the drone, the lies about Lila. I'm done waiting for Marceline to strike again. Tonight, I'm taking control, rallying the community to cage her chaos before she burns us all down. The petition's been brewing since the pool showdown, when I showed the drone footage and turned heads. Now, with the $500 HOA fine and her lawyer's weak offer to pay half my car repairs, I see an opening. I finalized the document, clear rules, banning drones over private property, mandatory fines for vandalism, and a process to remove repeat offenders from community spaces. It's a direct shot at Marceline's playbook, and I know it'll spark a fight. I posted on the listserv at 8 a.m. with a calm but firm message. Let's keep our neighborhood safe for everyone, especially our kids. By noon, it's got 15 signatures, Jenna, Mike, Karen, even Greg, the HOA rep, who's finally fed up. But Marceline's allies, led by Diane, the chairwoman, are pushing back, calling it overreach. I spend the day knocking on doors, my petition clipboard heavy, Lila, at Jenna's for safety. Some neighbors sign immediately their own stories of Marceline's snide comments, or Tyler's bullying spilling out. Others loyal to her charm, or her bribes slam doors in my face. The divide's stark. Half the street sees her as a victim, half as a menace. At one house, Karen pulls me inside, her voice low. Marceline's telling people you keyed her car, she says, showing me a listserv post with a blurry photo of scratches on her SUV. It's a lie, but it's gaining traction. My stomach twists, but I thank Karen and add the post to my evidence file. She's desperate, flinging accusations to muddy the water. But I'm not backing down. The climax hits at the emergency HOA meeting that night, called to address the petition. The clubhouse is packed, the air thick with sweat, and anger chairs scraping as neighbors cram in. I stand near the front, my petition in hand, 25 signatures now, including 2 board members. Marceline's there, her makeup flawless, whispering to Diane. Greg opens the floor, and I go first, my voice steady despite the glares. "This petition protects us," I say, holding it up. "It stops harassment, vandalism, and lies like the ones spread about my daughter." I list her crimes: poisoned garden dog feces, drone brick, showing photos on my phone passed around like a courtroom exhibit. The crowd murmurs, some nodding, others shifting uncomfortably. Marceline stands, her voice quivering with fake tears. "Elowen's obsessed, attacking my family," she cries, pointing to her car photo. "She's the vandal." Diane bangs her gavel, backing her, but Jenna jumps up. "That's a lie," she shouts, holding up her phone. "My camera caught Tyler scratching that car last week." The room erupts, neighbors yelling, and I seize the moment. "Marceline's been lying for months," I say, locking eyes with the crowd. "This petition isn't about me, it's about stopping her." Mike stands, adding, "My kid's scared to play outside because of Tyler. Enough's enough." The tide turns, more hands raise in support, and Diane's gavel can't stop it. The board votes 4-2 to adopt the petition, effective immediately. Marceline storms out, her face a mask of fury, and I feel the power shift, solid and real. Driving home, Lila asleep in the back seat, I'm buzzing with adrenaline. The petition's a shield now, its rules a leash on Marceline's chaos. But victory's fragile. Her lawyer's still dodging the full car repair payment, and that car scratch lie means she's not done fighting. I check the cameras when we get home, a shadow near my fence at 3 a.m., too vague to pin on her. I order another camera, my savings screaming, and tuck Lila in her face, peaceful. The listserv's alive with praise for the petition, but Diane's posted a vague defense of community unity code for protecting Marceline. I save it, my evidence file, a ticking bomb. Lying awake, the house silent except for Lila's soft snores, I realize how deep this war's cut. Remember when she flew that drone over Lila's birthday? That was a prank compared to bricks and lies. The petitions changed the game, giving me rules to wield, allies to call on, but it's also painted a bigger target on my back. Marceline's wounded, cornered, and I know her type, she'll lash out, and soon. The HOA's meeting to review Tyler's pool ban tomorrow, and I'm bracing for her final stand. I'm Elowen, the mom who's learned to fight like a general, but I'm also scared because this war's not over, and it's about to get bloody. The HOA meeting room buzzes with nervous energy, the air thick with the scent of cheap coffee and anticipation as neighbors pack the chairs for the vote on Tyler's pool ban. It's been a week since my petition passed, tightening the rules on harassment and vandalism, and Marceline's been eerily quiet. No new lies, no midnight shadows on my cameras. But I'm not fooled. Her silence is a coiled snake, and tonight, with the board deciding whether to uphold her son's ban, I know she's planning her final strike. I'm standing by the door, my evidence file on my phone, Lila safe at Jenna's, and my heart's pounding. This is it, the moment I end Marceline's reign of toxicity and reclaim my peace. The meeting starts with Greg reading the pool incident report, Tyler's vandalism, my complaint, the 2-week ban now up for review. Marceline's in the front row, her face a mask of calm, but her hands twist a tissue betraying her nerves. Diane, the chairwoman, opens the floor, and Marceline stands, her voice syrupy. "My son made a mistake," she says, "but Elowen's blown it out of proportion, targeting us with lies." She gestures to a stack of witness statements claiming Tyler's innocent, and my stomach lurches. They're forged. I recognize her handwriting from the flyers. She's doubling down, trying to flip the narrative one last time. But I'm ready. I step forward, my voice cutting through the murmurs. "Marceline's been lying for months," I say, holding up my phone. I have proof, videos, photos, police reports of her harassment. I list her crimes: poisoned garden dog feces, drone attack brick through my car. I play the drone footage again, the crowd gasping as notes flutter over Lila's birthday. Then I show Mike's camera clip of the hooded figure by my car, linking it to her hoodie from the feces video. These aren't mistakes, I say. They're deliberate. Jenna stands, adding, I saw her spread lies about Lila at school. Mike joins Tyler's been bullying kids for years. The room shifts, neighbors nodding. Diane's gavel useless against the tide. Marceline snaps her composure, shattering. You're all against me, she screams, pointing at me. Elowen's the liar, not me. But her voice cracks, and Tyler beside her looks down, ashamed. I seize the moment, locking eyes with the board. Uphold the ban, I say. Not just for me, but for every kid who deserves to feel safe. The vote's called, and it's unanimous. Tyler's ban is extended to a month with a warning. One more incident, and it's permanent. Marceline storms out her husband trailing, and the room erupts in applause. I've won, but my hands are shaking, adrenaline and relief colliding. The final confrontation comes at dusk. I'm on my porch sipping tea when Marceline marches over her face, red no pretense left. You think you've won? She hisses close enough. I smell her perfume. You're nothing, Elowen. I stand, meeting her gaze. I'm the one still standing, I say. You're done here. Your lies, your pranks, your bullying. The neighborhood sees you now. She flinches, and for the first time I see defeat in her eyes. Keep pushing, I add, and my lawyer's ready. She turns wordless and retreats to her house, her door slamming like a final shot. The power's mine, and it feels like fire in my bones. Back inside, I check the listserv. Neighbors are praising the vote, some apologizing for staying silent too long. Greg emails saying the HOA's reviewing Marceline's fines, hinting at more penalties. My car's repaired, paid by her lawyer after Sarah's pressure, and the petition's rules are posted at the clubhouse. Lila's asleep, her face peaceful, and I tuck her bunny beside her, my heart full. The cameras are still running, but I sleep soundly for the first time in months, the war finally over. The fight with Marceline, carved scars I'll carry forever, sleepless nights. Lila's tears, the constant hum of fear. But as I sit on my porch now, the cul-de-sac quiet, the stars bright above, I feel a hard-won peace. Standing up to her cost me money, sleep, trust in neighbors, but it gave me something fiercer, dignity. I'm not the Elowen who apologized by the pool, shrinking to avoid conflict. I'm Elowen, the mom who faced a bully and won, not just for me, but for Lila, for every kid who deserves a safe home. If you're dealing with someone toxic next door, please believe me, you're not crazy and you're not alone. You're stronger than you know, and standing up, even when it shakes you, builds a kind of courage that lasts. I rebuilt my garden. Lila's laughter fills the yard again, and Marceline's house is up for sale. The war's over, and I'm still here unbroken.